Hey y'all, I know it's been forever since I've been on my channel, had gone through some things. Your girl was going thick, THEW, okay? So as you can see, I probably look a little small, excuse me, a little smaller than eating popcorn. Um, well, what has gone on in my life these past couple of months? Um, well, for one, I don't work anymore. Um, y'all know I was working at the beloved Target. But what ended up happening was from the time who that is from the time that I actually like the seasons were, season hours and stuff were beginning right before Christmas. I started having issues with my lupus symptoms. um it could have been due to the weather. It could have been due to the change of the season. Partly too, I was on methotrexate, which we all know is a chemo drug, or if you don't know now, you know. So I was on the methotrexate, and it was working, but it kept dropping my white blood cell count. So then I went straight from methotrexate with no time in between for my body to rest to Imuron. Imuron's another chemo drug. Imuron has like loss of appetite as a side effect, and that's one of the reasons why I started losing the weight. But I didn't really notice it until after the latter part of the story that I'm going to let you know about. So so the Imuron, my rheumatologist gave me a month off. She gave me from like the 8th of January to the 29th of January off of work, mainly because she wanted to make sure that the medicine works. And the medicine was all right, but my joints, like my elbows, my knees and stuff, even the bottom of my feet, it's like I was just tiptoeing, you know? And I felt like it just wasn't working like that. Because even in Target, I felt like some days I would damn near be creeping out of the front door just to get to my car. Now, mind y'all know I have a handicap placard. If you don't know, well, I got the orange one, whatever. So I'm not on disability, but I always manage to get my favorite spot in the front of the store because I already know it's gonna be team too much, you know. So what ended up happening? Sorry, y'all. You know, popcorn, the holes and stuff getting you. But yeah, so fast forward to that, when she seen that that wasn't working, um, I ended up going on Benlista. Now, Benlista, it's a self-injection, injected medication. Um, it comes in like one of those, almost like an EpiPen, but it's a little wider and it's a little bigger, I guess. So you find the fatty part of your body, which before I started taking it and before she even considered putting me on it, I actually was looking at. I have two YouTube pages. My regular page, which is at Redivin or whatever. I'm the only Redivin on IG. I know that to be a fact. And my lupus page, which is the Purple Hearts. Um, so on the Purple Hearts, of course, is where I generate, most of my conversations with other lupus warriors like myself. So I ended up looking at like putting in hashtag bin list or whatever and looking at, where most people were getting infusions, which means they were getting it through IV. I heard nothing but great things about it. I ended up getting the injection. I mean, getting my doctor didn't. I guess it'd be way more expensive to get the infusion, so it was just better for me to get the injections. And at the time, through my husband's insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, shout out. Um, and this ain't no paid ad. I'm just saying. Um, Getting my injections or whatever, I don't get them at Walgreens down the street where I get my normal medications from. I actually get them from an out of town pharmacy. So basically, I only did one injection. And Jesus, I was just not prepared. Like I seen it on the videos and stuff, but I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I put it in my left thigh because the fatty parts on my body right now are like my little gut and my thighs. And because of the weight loss, that means the thigh meat's kind of slimming down a little bit, and I don't like pain. But I was just doing it, and my husband was in the shower, and I stuck myself. I don't know, y'all. I stuck myself, and I was like, "Oh my god, oh Lord, oh!" But I didn't take it out. I let it finish, and my husband was like, "You all right?" I said, "Shit, feel like I'm about to die." But it was just the one injection. Now let me tell you, Benlysta actually is a good medicine. But when I did it, because like the day after I did it on a Monday. I always like to do pick certain days to take certain medicines or whatever. Like my um, vitamin D, I like to take on a Saturday or whatever, just so I know that I took it or what. But which reminds me, I need to take it today. Um, the Benlysta, at the day that I took it on a Monday, that Tuesday, I actually was feeling fine. Like I was moving around, able to run with the baby, not run, but able to catch up with the baby and all this other stuff. Fast forward to Wednesday, I go back to work. Now, this is my first day back at work, I think. No. That was on the weekend. But basically, I caught myself trying to go back to work. Now, I went and I felt what I thought was fine. And see, I think that was my problem. I'm always pushing myself on my good days or whatever. And it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of it, here I'm thinking I'm going to be good. And then turn around and something could go wrong in a matter of a second. So I ended up going to work. I really wasn't even at work that long, which was great, which was cool because I had been off because of my doctor's note so long that I wasn't even in the system to clock in. So my that was them little couple of hours when it counted until days later when they put me back in the system. So, I was there and I was working guest services, which is like the customer service or whatever. You want to make returns and stuff for those who aren't Target frequenters. So now, the workload I didn't think was going to be that bad because seasonal is pretty much done. Nobody's really making returns like that, from the holidays because they do that like immediately after. We know how it works. But they offered me the regular cashier, but I was like register, but I was like, I don't really want to be stuck in one position. Let me just move around. So got there, not thinking, open germs, people getting over the flu and pneumonia and stuff. People don't like to cover their nasty ass mouths when they cough and shit, and that just gets on my nerves. I hate germs, in that sense, of people not being considerate. And then I did a couple of orders. Well, I did a couple of returns. I pulled orders from the back, and then they got this. Anybody who shops at Target knows about, or they may know about the drive up order feature. And if you go in the parking lots and they have the 1, 2, 1, 2 parking spaces, those are reserved for the order drive ups. So I did one order drive up, and I don't know if it was, and I was not, I ain't gonna say I was bundled up, but I was zipped up, in my sweater or whatever, and it was like a big cool gust of air, which for me it felt good because it gets hot up in there. Like I was wearing a hoodie the whole time in work, but it does get hot in those stores from time to time. So then all of a sudden I'm standing right back at the guest service desk because when I'm not behind the register, I'll come from the side and then I'll help people, assist people who need assistance, whatever. So I'm just standing there and I was kind of rocking back and forth and I was like, oh man, I feel a little exhausted. But let me pace myself, even though it wasn't super busy. So I don't know what happened, but I was studying. I don't know if this happens to y'all, but if I'm about to throw up, either I start salivating real bad or my stomach starts hurting. So my stomach started hurting. So I'm running, telling one of the floor managers at the time, I got to go to the bathroom so somebody can watch guest services. So I'm throwing up. So I'm like, okay, once you get it out, because I'm not a person that vomits very easily. And since I've been sick, or well, as of lately, it don't take much. It don't take much these days, which is a bad feeling. Because I mean, I'd rather vomit than have nausea, because nausea kicks your ass too. But with me vomiting as much as I have been in the past month or so, like couple of months, not consistently, not as of lately, but when it happens now, it happens so easily, and it's just like, oh my god, that is the worst feeling. So got emptied, thought I felt a little better, got me some water, and then it happened again. So I was like, look, I can't work like this. I thought I could. I'm not even clocked in anyway. So can you let the HR know, that I need to go home, So left to go home, got in the car, and I'm gagging. Like, I don't even have bad gag reflexes. This is the crazy part. Like, this thing has changed my life so much. Stuff that didn't affect me before now affects me. So I'm just gagging, gagging, gagging. And I almost threw up in my car like 3 times. I was so agitated. I was just ready to get home. So when I got home, I just peeled off my pants and my jacket and I just laid in the bed because I didn't really do anything. So eventually I got up and I had got into the shower or whatever. But what even been what led to those events next was just like beyond me, like, because I just never seen this coming. So from then on, anytime I would take a shower, like, I built up this natural anxiety and paranoia that I never had before in taking a shower, because it seemed like for some reason every time I hop in the shower, um the steam would just labor my breathing. And we all know, especially women, we like to damn near turn ourselves into soup, into straight Campbell's, okay, a whole can and a case when we go in the shower. Because that steam, that heat, especially for me, and I'm having a like a tight muscle day or whatever, it helps to relax my muscles and stuff like that. And so I just, it just didn't dawn on me at first that that might have been the steam that was doing it. But I would get dizzy. I felt like I would pass out. My husband had to help me wash my ass plenty of times, which I'm not ashamed of it because that's my husband. I shouldn't be. You should never be. Um, it's not a great feeling, but it ain't nothing you should be ashamed of. You need help. You need help. It's times where he's had to help, like, I've gotten my important parts and stuff and I got clean, but I didn't stay in the shower as long as I usually do. And he's had to help pull me out of the tub, like hurry up, snatch me out the tub before I pass out. He's had to help dry me off. He's put my lotion on, put my drawers, my socks, everything on, my bra. Like, trust me, he steps up. Um, I had an incident where I got up in the middle of the night, and I sleep on the side where the bathroom is anyway. And I got the nightstand because that's usually women. You see my nightstand and clothes and stuff. But yeah, I went to the bathroom to use the bathroom like I always do in the middle of like anybody, any other night that I would. And the distance from my bed to the bathroom ain't even that far. So I didn't feel any kind of tired or anything. I'm just going because you be half dead and stuff. Your eyes be halfway closed. I sat down on the toilet, and all of a sudden, um, I wake up, I open my eyes, and I'm on the floor in between the sink and the toilet bowl. So, and my head, the back of my head was like resting on the wastebasket. So, and it's one of them little cheap Dollar Tree wire wastebasket. So I hit it pretty hard because it was enough to like dent it a little bit. So ended up what happened? Oh, ended up on the floor. And when I opened my eyes, I'm like, "God, what the hell am I doing down here?" And it's crazy because the way that me and my husband's bathroom is set up in the bedroom, it's not a very big bathroom. So when you open the door immediately, there's the sink mirror, or whatever. It's a little bit of space, and then it's like we had to get a new toilet. So we have one of those push button toilets on the top. So that toilet takes up a little bit of room, and then the distance between the space between the toilet and the tub is like that. So it's it's a decent size for us because we pretty much the only two that use it, but it's still tight, as far as the space. um when he came, for some reason he just knew to come because he was in the living room watching TV. So some reason he just knew to come to the bathroom, and he picked me up like, "Babe," you know what I'm saying? And he said he got me on the thing because when you black out, and I had never blacked out before, like passed out a day in my life. Now I done blacked out a little bit from drinking back in the day, but I definitely have never passed out, like actually went through the actions of passing out. So he said he got me up off the floor. He was talking to me the whole time, make sure I was fully conscious or whatever, and he wouldn't have to call like ambulance or rush me to the emergency room. Um, he put me back on the toilet. He made sure I was all right, and then he brought me back to bed. So that was the first thing that happened. I think some days later, I went to take a shower. I didn't have it up that, like, I don't think I had the hot water up that high. But for some reason, you know how when you think you're gonna pass out. Now, see, I know if I have that feeling like I'm gonna pass out, but I had never passed out before that first incident. So with this one, I hopped back in the shower. Well, no, not back in the shower. It was this days later. I went in the shower. All of a sudden, I had that feeling again. So, and luckily that with that first incident, I didn't bump my head or nothing like that, thank God. But this second one could have turned fatal too, because he says he was doing something with the baby. He rushed in because he heard a thump. But you know how when you think you're gonna pass out, you try to catch yourself. So I had put my hand up on the wall in the shower, and you know how you trying to, like, level yourself out, thinking, okay, I'm gonna straighten it out. He comes in the bathroom just in the nick of time, and he actually caught me. He says I was like, babe, like on my way back, like about to fall backwards out of the tub. But all I remember is my eyes just, probably rolling the back of my head and just dropping down. He said he caught me just in time, because if he would have just, if he didn't, I probably would have either fallen. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what the hell happened. But I would have probably fell backwards out of the tub and hurt myself, or I would have um, hit my head on the tub or something. And then I went down. He lowered me down. The water was still on, so he helped me get myself together, like wash up or whatever. Just finished the shower. Then he got me out of the tub, and then I just laid down. And those are scary moments, because some people pass out. They don't. They either come to and shit gets worse, or they don't come to at all. So I was definitely blessed that he was in the house, because there's no telling what could have happened, and especially if it was me and Moops by herself. She only 3. Not saying these kids, I mean, and y'all know Moops had speech delay and stuff, so she's not at the point where she's really working like phones like that outside of her little phone to play her games and stuff. Um, so let's see. So from there, um, days later, I ended up with a one. Well, it started as a 102.9 fever, and then he gave me some. He came back, and I guess because he heard me coughing, I guess, and so he came back and he felt me. And I have a thermometer that I had been given. One of those digital thermometers. I didn't have to buy one. It was from when Moops was born in the hospital. So I was at 102.9, and so he gave me some orange juice to see if he could kind of cut the fever. And then it spiked up to 104.9. So from there, he called my mother. She left her house because, mind you, we stay in Rock Hill. She stays in Charlotte, which is like a hop, skip, and a jump away. But she came from her house to come be with the baby and stuff like that, and she did the baby's hair. So gets up in there. Sorry, I'm messing with my arm. Gets up in there, and she comes, she does baby's hair, and then we go to the emergency room. Get to the emergency room, and my temperature only dropped like 1 degree. So it's like now at 103.9. So, when you got fever and stuff like that, they don't waste no time. They rush me to a room. So immediately I'm getting my IV, I'm getting my blood taken for blood cultures and stuff like that. Got the bracelet slapped on my wrist. The doctor comes in and said that they were going to keep me. He was going to go ahead and admit me. Now I'm just thinking, not thinking anything, because from Target, it didn't dawn on me that it could have possibly been me getting sick from Target. I thought that potentially it was those back-to-back time frames that I was taking all those medicines. So, which the doctor said no, because it wasn't enough time. I still kind of think it's a factor, but hey, I'm no doctor. I do have medical experience, if you've ever seen any of my previous videos. However, I've only have experience as a phlebotomist and a medical assistant. So I assist the doctor. I ain't no doctor. So, whatever. So goes in thinking it's going to be like a day or two stay. It turns into 2 weeks. So in that 2 weeks, I had 4 CT scans, one ultrasound, I think 2 chest x-rays. Yeah, that's it. And then even when I got there day 1, I had to drink that nasty ass contrast. They need to put some flavoring in that shit like they do when you pregnant and you have to drink that diabetes syrup. That shit is nasty. Like it was horrible. I had to do two CT scans with contrast, but all of them, of course, had dye. They scanned and they basically were saying that I had acute pancreatitis or whatever, but I was not right. Okay, I was not even um in pain. I wasn't in pain. My heart rate kept regulating at 120 something to 140s. But I kept trying to explain to them with me being on prednisone and all that other stuff. Like 2 years ago, this wasn't even a factor. 2 years ago, I actually didn't even have to take an aspirin if I didn't want to, Like I barely had headaches or anything. So this is what, so when people, and I understand that they're doctors, but sometimes they don't realize your own body. Like I ain't trying to step on the doctor's toes, but your own body. Oh, and I also had a bone marrow biopsy that they did as a precaution. And your girl is a lot queen now. Ooh, ooh. I had to let my scalp breathe a little bit. But yeah, so anyway, um basically they were trying to take every precaution or whatever because they were trying to figure out if I had pneumonia, if it, because I was already sepsis. So, and when you get septic, sometimes you lose limbs and stuff like that. So I was worried about that. I was worried about thank you, thanks sis. Try to do this stuff, but yeah, you know your body and you know how your body feels and you know when something ain't right. So I was on countless IV bags, you know what I'm saying, including regular fluid. Well, because I had like 4 or 5 antibiotics going on at the same time. I did know you could take anything OTC, which is over the counter for those that don't know the terms, when you have a cough. Because I mean, that first week I was coughing. I was just vomiting, you know what I'm saying? At one time, they gave me the contrast to drink and I threw a whole thing up and I had to do it again right behind that. And I was so pissed because I'm like, look, y'all ain't got no alternate. Y'all ain't got no Kool-Aid. Like, add some grape. Everybody like red. Just saying, like some kind of flavor to it. So then they scanned, like, well, I know the first time I was in the emergency room in January, do your heart rate stay high? Because that's what they're trying to find. Yeah, that it does. My heart rate it stays high. Like the lowest that I've seen that it is like 102. And it's only because and I only take like well, I'm supposed to take 10 milligrams of prednisone in the morning and 5 at night, but I break them in half every day because I have a lot of heart palpitations too. You know, stuff something that I hate that I had to get used to because I'm not going to the emergency room every time it happens. I think I know if I was having a stroke. So, so yet when I was in there, like I said, the IV bags and stuff like that, they're giving me my regular medicines because mind you, I hadn't been on Plaquenil that whole time. So, because she wanted me to get my eye exam. So my husband would come. He is such godsend, y'all. He would come and he would switch out my clothes every like 2 days or so. I had a huge support system that came, even though my oldest kid just turned 17 and the baby is 3. Somebody still got to be there for the baby. And I mean, still, and I always want to make sure that my 17-year-old is still my son at the end of the day. I'm gonna always look out for him. So he has him a little job and all this other stuff. And so he came to the hospital and visited with my mama one time. I really didn't want him to come because I didn't want him to see me like that. But of course the baby couldn't come, for obvious reasons. But I wanted him to at least know that I was doing okay. So my mama, came through. She talked to the doctor. She wanted to make sure because for those that don't know, I'm my mother's only child. You know, um, so, she definitely gonna ride for hers. What happened? Yeah, but while I was in there, it was like every day, constant blood draws. Like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, they come slam that big ass, bright ass light on when I'm trying to sleep. And then that's the thing. When you're laid up in a hospital bed, you lose all sense of time and days. I never opened up my blinds because for one, the weather was just nasty outside, so I didn't really care. And I know when it rains, my body act a certain way any damn way. So it was raining, I'm sitting there watching reruns of Martin and Fresh Prince and stuff, just tired, ready to go home, agitated, aggravated, all of the above. Um, the doctor, to me, I had a fairly decent staff. They were attentive, and stuff like that. And I was the only young black one on my hallway. Everybody was old and white and hilarious. Because them people was just, get off of me. Let me go. I ain't ready to go. Give me the A. And I just turn on my little TV chair. And when I say it was because it was just funny to me, they just hilarious. Old people funny. But they gave me a walker to like kind of do my own little physical therapy with. It was annoying. Like I used to just sit and have to like hold my pee because like that first night I used the bedpan, and then the first night the nurse helped me take a shower because I told her I was like I don't feel comfortable taking a shower by myself because I don't want to pass out. So she was like, okay, and she helped me put my lotion on, helped me get my stuff on, real nice. And I'm sure she's seen worse. So modesty is out the window when you're sick. You ain't really thinking like that. And then two, like I said, when I built up the anxiety and the paranoia with taking the showers, that is the worst feeling in the world because something that you just normally do on your own, you would never think you'd be scared to do alone. But I was in fear of passing out or hurting myself, you know what I'm saying? And I even admit to my husband last night that I used to get agitated when I felt like he wasn't around or nearby the bathroom for me to call his name, to not even like wash my back or nothing, but to just be there. Like it this thing takes a toll on your relationship. It does, even though I don't think he's gonna leave, because he done held in this long, especially going through what we just went through with the hospital. I think, it's just one of those things where you don't want to be such a burden on a person. You know what I'm saying? Um, so then fast forward to like after that first week, I was just over it. I got tired of being poked and prodded because even before I left, I had two IVs in the same arm. Not because one didn't take, but because my nurse was trying to cut down the time, like where it would take 3 hours for me to get all those IV fluids in my body. She was trying to cut the time down from 3 hours to an hour and a half by putting another IV in. So, the countless blood, and then it's crazy because I had to go see my rheumatologist on the 13th of this month, for a follow-up. So before then, my getting all that blood and stuff drawn, usually when I have my follow-ups, I go down to Greenville a couple of days prior and then I go back for my appointment because the days prior I'm getting my blood work done, so she'll have the results and stuff in. But this time, shit, my ass was like, look, they done took 2 weeks worth of damn blood out of my body. Better make do to do. You know what I'm saying? Even though I know she kind of had to figure that out, because I'm not going to keep letting nobody poking on me if I don't want to or if I don't need to. And they took more than enough blood. They did blood cultures and everything. So you should be able to work with that. Right? Right. Plus, she's a good doctor. But yeah, it was just waking up to blood draws. My first week I was on an all liquid diet because that Imuron, like I said, it has loss of appetite. But medicines change your hair, skin, and your nails. They change your chemistry of your body. They change a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Your hormones, all of that. So it was just like the Imuron, with it having loss of appetite as a side effect, it was like my taste buds were changing. Like stuff just stopped tasting the way it was supposed to. Not even with hot sauce, barbecue sauce, and stuff like that. I could not get the taste of regular meat and food and stuff. So that's what began for my weight loss. And then what happened? I started moving on to those little nutritional shakes or whatever because I'm like I gotta have something in my system. I can't just starve. So started doing those, even though it was annoying as hell because my body was really flaring up and stuff then. Um, in the hospital, I ate the hell. I know they ain't have hardly a Jello stash when I left. I ate the hell out that Jello. I started getting on the tomato soup. Like it was just stuff that I was eating. Then that second week, they put me to a high fiber, low carb diet, and we all know hospital food and came up, but only by a skosh. Like hospital food is gross. It's just fucking gross. And they would give you like this chicken breast, supposed to be a chicken breast, with this gravy, and I don't really like gravy because my grannies put gravy on every damn thing. I'd be like, can I just have some dry meat on the side? Thank you. They had that. They had these carrots, steamed carrots and rice one night, and I ate a little bit of the carrots, ate a little bit of rice. I'm a true born and bred Southern. I love me some rice. However, the rice wasn't. I mean, they can't season up everything in Lawry's because everybody got dietary needs. So a couple of times, my husband had brought me something to eat. My mama brought me something to eat. Like I was just like, I can't starve, and then didn't realize I could get chicken tenders there. So I kind of survived off of those. But yeah, I was just mainly drinking water, eating ice, because hospital got the best ice next to Sonic. Um, and what else? That and ginger ale and juice and stuff like that. And of course, medicines. I ate those every day. So um, what happened? That first week, y'all, I was so aggravated and tired and frustrated because I hadn't seen my kids in a week. My husband was coming through, but I was feeling bad. He was having to do all this extra stuff because I know what it is to take care of a sick person. And then the doctor come in, and my husband's always bringing up alternatives ways, like not holistic medicines, but alternative medicines and stuff, i.e. weed. And I was just getting frustrated because he would always bring it up around the doctors and stuff, and I'm like, they all gonna tell you the same thing, and just quit bringing this shit up because I'm already feeling the way. I'm already like, you're not. It took him a while, like actually when I got back home, to realize when you're not actually going through it, it's easier said than done. It's easy to be like, oh, um, you know, babe, come on, let's get out of the bed or whatever. You just need to stretch. No, when you got lupus and it affects your body like that, you don't just need to stretch. Stretching don't really help. What happened? Um, I that the doctor came in, we were all talking, and then I got frustrated and I started crying. And normally I'm not a crier, but it got me to that point because I was like, what the hell? Like, I'm ready to go because I got tired of people saying, oh, well, you might get to go home tomorrow. It's like every other day I was going home until every other day turned to 2 weeks. And I'm like, I did not plan on taking up residency in this damn hospital. I'm ready to go. So, fast forward, even when they did the bone biopsy, you can't have anything to drink or eat after midnight. I probably had my last sip of water like 11:53 that night.